Hello. Um, it's been a little while since I've uh, talked to y'all. Um, it's Saturday afternoon, October 20th. It's a chilly day, but it's beautiful out. Beautiful, clear blue sky here in Iowa. And so I'm sitting out front of my apartment, and people would say, well, gee, it's 45 degrees. What are you doing sitting outside? Well, that's not very cold to me. Anyway, from where I'm from, I mean, it's getting down there, yeah, and I'm definitely dressed appropriately to be outside right now. But I just got back from the store and decided just to sit out and enjoy the brisk, cool fall weather. It's quiet here in my complex, like it always is. It's for the amount of people, and I'll just turn this around quickly and kind of give you an idea. This is just a very small section of the amount of apartments that are here, and for the number of people here, it's pretty quiet. I've been here now. Well, it was 5 years this past March. So I was given a lot of warnings when moving here about the crime, and the police are here all the time. And what's really kind of funny right now is when I pulled in, I'll just show you that there is a Marion police vehicle here. He's not sitting in it, and he's kind of all parked cocky wampus there, and I'm not sure what he's doing here. I don't even know where he's at. Maybe he's just visiting. Who knows? But I can count in 5 years. I can probably count less than two hands, maybe just two hands. The number of times I've seen the police here. More often than not, it's an ambulance, and every now and then the fire department. But for the amount of people here, and this isn't high end living here. This is a pretty low income apartment complex. So there's a lot of ins and outs as far as people. There's high turnover here every month, it seems. But anyway, matter of fact, I think in this group of apartments that I'm in right here, I think I'm been here the longest. Everybody else, every other apartment has been moved in and out of a couple of times. Anyway, so I'm just enjoying my little neighborhood here, and I thought I'd give you an update on some things that are going on with me. I apologize for the reflection off my glasses. I could take them off, actually. I don't really need them to do this. I noticed the glare just in the camera. But anyway, this week, this past Thursday, I had a bunch of testing done at the Mercy Cardiology office in two reasons. One, for my prep and being evaluated for transplant, and two, because just follow up for my history, make sure I don't have anything going wrong with my circulation. It's always a concern with diabetics. That's why diabetics so often lose limbs, mostly their legs, is because due to the poor vasculature that the disease starts to creep up on. And that's when you start having numbness and tingling in your feet, and you don't feel things. And like with me, you get an infection, and next thing you know, you lose a limb. So they're very, they try to stay on top of that. So I had all that testing done, plus a stress test, which was I built it up a lot in my mind because I've had it done before, and the worst part of it, it's a chemical stress test. It's not a treadmill, so I've never actually, I think I've only ever had one of those done in my life, where I actually walked on a treadmill. But anyway, so they inject you with this chemical that mimics stressing your heart. And all of a sudden, you feel like all the energy is drained out of you, and you get this very sickish feeling. And in my case, I throw up. And I had this built up in my mind as, oh, I dread this. Yes, I've been through a lot of worse things, even just in the last year. But you know how it doesn't take something much sometimes to set you off and just get your mind going. So I was all kind of bent out of shape, and it lived up to my expectation. I ended up throwing up, and I asked the technician, so how often do people actually get sick from this test? And she said, oh, maybe about 1 in every 50 people or so. So that happened to me. And anyway, it was over quickly, fairly quickly, and wasn't so bad. So I'm waiting for those test results. Hopefully they'll come back good. My last studies I had done of my carotids and circulation. Obviously, they could only check my right leg, not my left, because now I've lost the lower part of my left leg, so that doesn't much matter anymore. Hopefully, in the past it's been good, so I'm hoping it comes back good again. But you diabetes is a progressive disease, and unfortunately, it whittles its way, whittles your body away from you a little bit at a time, different organs and so forth. So anyway, so that was done Thursday. The real big exciting news is this coming Tuesday. They got final approval and everything for my new leg. I went in for a fitting, and he had to do he had to make some adjustments, so he was getting the new socket in on Tuesday, and my leg should be there with it. So I should get delivery of my new leg on Tuesday, which I'm just thrilled about. I just can't tell you how big of a difference it's going to make in my mobility. Even though everybody that sees me walk goes, oh my God, you walk really well. And they say, how long have you had your prosthetic? I said, just not even a year yet. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. So I don't see it, but other people do, in the healthcare field and so forth. They say that I'm doing great. So that's really encouraging to hear, because I feel like I struggle sometimes. Not obviously as much as I did when I first got my leg and everything, but I still feel like I'm struggling here and there. Anyway, then also a very significant thing, which I don't know if it's going to end up being as big as I hope it will be, is I have a very dear friend of mine that I used to work with, and he was a fairly new therapist when I met him. I'm not going to share his name right now just to keep his own privacy, but in a conversation, in some things I had posted online about this test and so forth, he, commented and said, hey, dude, what do you need? I said, well, I need a kidney. That's what I really need. If there's anything I need right now, it's a kidney. And he said, well, I'll give you one. I said, yeah, okay, whatever, and he's like, no, no, I'm serious. He goes, I got this feeling that I'll be a match, and I saw your post, and it all of a sudden just came over me that I need to tell you this, and I said, well, uh, what do you say when somebody offers you a kidney? I said thank you, obviously, and so we're gonna go for you know he's gonna go get whatever tests he needs to get done. I'm gonna talk to my nephrologist Monday, and when they round, and ask what he exactly he needs to have done. Because I don't know if it's just a simple blood test or if there's anything else that needs to be done uh, to be a match. So, but that's super duper exciting because obviously a live donor is the best possible donation you can get. Otherwise, they all come from people recently deceased. And you never know exactly who it is, their lifestyle, and all that kind of stuff. So, those are all chances you take with taking a donor kidney. But if you have a live donor, and plus that means I wouldn't have to go on a list, we make the arrangements, get things set up, and boom, it's done. So that alone, obviously, even if this doesn't come through, and I still have to go on the list and wait for a kidney, getting a kidney will be the single most life changing thing for me right now, even more so than the new leg, because that's what's keeping me from, even thinking about going back to work. Um, my leg is a small inhibitor, but I'm overcoming that more and more every day. But it's the time spent and the fatigue I deal with dialysis every week that keeps me from even thinking about being able to handle going back to work. Now, for those of you that maybe have never seen this before or are not familiar, I'm a respiratory therapist by trade. I've worked in that field for close to 20 years, and that's all I really want to do financially, especially now with my leg, even with full medical benefits. I really can't go and get a job at Walmart. I I can't survive with my diabetes, which obviously isn't going to go away. Um, the costs involved, even with insurance, are still pretty significant. So I need, these are the reasons why I went to college to get an education so that I could provide for myself and my family um, through the years. So, um, people say, well, maybe there's something else you could do. Well, I'm going to be 55 years old next month. I don't have a lot of more years of working ahead of me anyway. Um, I would prefer to go back to what I know and am really good at and love doing instead of trying to just survive some other way. Because obviously, if I get a kidney, I'll be off dialysis, and I'll be off of Medicare, and I'll have to go back to work because I won't have any other way to survive. Um, because just having my amputation doesn't necessarily uh, give me that significant amount of disability. Um, I believe that's true. So um, all in all, I really feel like I will be going back to work at some point, at least up until the point I can retire, even if it's only for the next 7 years, retiring early at 62. Um, anyway, so that was exciting news. All that happened this week. Um, so I still have a couple things I have to get done before I can be reevaluated for the transplant list. I think I also have to get a colonoscopy done, which I've never had done. I understand that when you're a male, you're supposed to have one done when you turn 50. I had one scheduled one time, but my ride fell through and they wouldn't allow me to have it done without somebody there with me. I said, well, I can take a taxi home or something. No, they wouldn't allow it. So anyway, so I have to reschedule that and get that taken care of, and then look at being reevaluated. So whatever happens with my friend, either qualifying to be able to give me his kidney, but just the gesture alone was really astounding to me. And so if you watch this, you know who you are, and at some point I might identify you. But anyway, thank you again publicly. I hope it all works out. Trust me, I really do. So we joked about a few things on the phone, talking about him, about his personality and what he's like, and that I'd have part of him in me now. And you've heard stories about how people that get transplants from people, they sometimes take on some of their personality traits. If the person that donated to you was an axe murderer, you might end up being an axe murderer. Anyway, so that is the check-in for now. I'll post this, and please, if you have any questions or comments or ways that I could make these more interesting, this, like I said, this is more of a way for me to just kind of disseminate information to people that know me and anybody that doesn't know me and is interested in what it's like to have the triple threat here, I call it, the diabetes and the amputation and kidney failure, and life is wonderful. And like I tell people all the time, we always, and I'll never stop saying this till the day I die, someone else always has it worse. No matter how bad you think you got it, when life has slapped you around and pushed you down, just look around the world and see what goes on every day. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye.